WHPC Garden City, New York, the voice of Nassau Community College.
Listen.
Join WHPC's Daily News Wrap-Up, weekdays at 4:30 p.m., bringing you a complete report of the day's news home and abroad, as well as sports, weather, and many other informative features.
We're Long Island's FM alternative.
.3 FM, WHPC, Garden City, New York. Welcome to From the Pressbox. I'm Rob Leonard, and joining me as always is
Tim Leonard.
And yes, we are brothers. Welcome back, my brother. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing all right. Did I ever tell you about my story about meeting Glenn Tilbrook? Since you decided to play Squeeze, you decided actually to play some good music on the intro.
No.
It was at a concert for the Love Hope Strength Foundation, actually,
Right.
which is for those of you who don't know, is the cancer charity that was founded by the Alarm frontman Mike Peters.
Right.
And we took a bus trip with Mike Peters to Philadelphia from New York, which was a really cool experience. A little pricey, but it was well worth the $100 that we spent. And Mike Peters played on the bus on the way down.
He'll play anyway, won't he?
Now, I think Mike thought that he was going to be able to stand in the middle of the bus and play his guitar and that everything was going to go swimmingly. And it happened. It went well for about 4 seconds until the bus driver hit the brakes.
Well, yeah.
and Mike went flying until one of the people sitting there caught him. And he kind of started to think, all right, this is not going to be the best thing, and maybe I should have sold one less seat than we did because I need a place to sit down and play the guitar. So we managed to jam him in there. We drank a lot of beers, and we got to this club in Philadelphia. And upstairs with the VIP section, because I had a VIP ticket,
Of course.
I was getting some food because food and drink were included. And who's up there getting the chicken wings right next to me but Glenn Tilbrook from Squeeze.
Wow.
So, of course you say, hey, Glenn, how are you? How you been? Big fan?
Did he say anything back? Did he say
He said very little. He was a nice guy. Nice guy. So, hey, he gave me the old, how you doing, mate? That sort of thing. But, couldn't have been nicer. Very polite.
I wish they got back together in England, but they haven't come back here. Squeeze was not a huge band, but they had their following.
Squeeze
I saw him.
He was very big, though.
I saw them at the Ritz in '87, right before Babylon and On came out.
Yes.
And I was deaf for like 2 days afterwards.
I think I was at that show.
No, you weren't. Yeah.
And I was at a different show because I saw them at the Ritz, and I remember the reason I remember the show was because they kept telling the crowd to jump up and down.
Oh, and then I was with you.
Yeah, we were on the second floor.
Yeah,
and I was convinced that the building was going to collapse.
I stopped jumping at one point, and the floor
was bouncing. It was like a trampoline.
It was
that's
trampoline.
how
we
much
were together,
flexibility was in the floor.
Oh my God, yeah, I was scared. I was like, I said I don't want to die this way.
Yeah, I was like, guys, you want to tell people to stop telling people to jump up and down
building,
because yeah, this is not a good scene.
Yeah, we were together. You're right. And you know what? That was with Young Matura and Mandrasina.
Yeah,
Steve Mandrasina, host of Everything and Anything here at WHPC.
Stevie, I'm sure remembers that show.
I'm sure he never paid me for the ticket, so. But that's something else. Anyway, lots to talk about today. We have Len Berman coming on at 10:15 to see what's going on with Len. We loved Len at Channel 4 and everywhere else.
Everybody's sportscaster.
New
York sportscaster.
Yeah.
Like I used to call him Al Roker, America's weather, or New York's weatherman. Len Berman was New York sportscaster.
He's a Brooklyn guy, I believe, or Queens.
I believe so. We'll have to ask.
He's a Long Island.
He's a New York guy.
He's a New York guy. Went to Syracuse.
Everybody goes to Syracuse.
Went there before everyone else did.
That doesn't hold a lot of sway with me.
Well,
everybody goes to Syracuse.
Anyway, so much sports to talk about. Again, the Jets lost, which wasn't a surprise. But
not exactly a news story there.
The difference is that Matt Sims actually got in.
Matt Sims.
I like Matt Sims. I actually want him to be my starter.
No.
He won't be, but I want him to be.
No.
Why not?
The short and simple reason is he's not good enough. But
he was given two rounds of plays.
He's a Jersey kid,
yeah,
and I like him. He's a good story.
That's why I like him.
Came out of.
But he can throw. Give him a couple of more passing routes at least.
No, he's not. He's not the future.
He's not the future. But at this point, it doesn't matter.
But the Jets need to be looking for the future. The
But
Jets
the
shouldn't be
future's
playing,
not happening this year.
The Jets shouldn't be playing Matt Sims just because people say, "Oh, well, he's so cute," and it's Matt Sims.
No, but who else are they going to get?
Well, at this point, they're not going to get anybody.
Did he test the birdies coming back? He'd probably play better.
Maybe. Who knows? But no, he's not coming back. Vinny, talk about now. He'd certainly be an injury waiting to happen. Back when he was finishing his playing career, he was an injury waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Now he might not even have to get hit to get hurt.
Yeah. So, what do you want to start with today, brother?
You know what? I actually wanted to start because this thought struck me yesterday, and it struck me because I was actually watching the Jets and the Eagles at the same time, and. Because I don't know, I told people I think last week I'm now working weekends at CBS Sports and doing stats for NFL games. So the good thing about that is that you have the capability of watching as many as 4 games at the same time, right? And of course I have to concentrate on the game I'm actually doing stats on, but you can sneak glances at what else is going on. And we saw, hey, here's Nick Foles getting hurt,
right?
And what we didn't know at the time was apparently Nick Foles has a broken collarbone. So he's going to be out for, they were saying, anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. I mean, I think 4 weeks is really optimistic with an injury like that.
Collarbone's painful.
But as soon as Nick Foles gets hurt, the thing everybody knows, here comes Mark Sanchez.
The Sanchez.
So this was actually Sanchez's first real game action that matters, not exhibition.
Right.
Since the infamous play against the Giants where Rex Ryan put him in there in the fourth quarter and he screwed up his shoulder. And
an exhibition game.
Exhibition game, yes.
Yeah.
So he didn't play at all last year.
Nope.
Hasn't played at all this season. And now Nick Foles is hurt and he gets thrown right into the fire. And the thought hit me right after Sanchez's first play, which was a 52-yard pass to Jeremy Maclin. The Eagles right now, to me anyway, have a better backup quarterback situation than the Jets do.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's amazing because Sanchez was the guy who got run out of town, but
very quickly.
Michael Vick had a decent game yesterday, but the fact of the matter is the Jets only scored 10 points. So Sanchez comes in, first play, hits a 52-yard pass, because that's the Chip Kelly offense. It doesn't matter who you are. You're coming in and you're throwing the ball.
Right.
And it was just that was my first thought. That was what struck me. And you look at the Eagles, and all right, Nick Foles is going to be out for, let's say, at least a month. And Mark Sanchez is the guy now who is going to lead them, and he's taken over a first-place team because the Eagles are 6-2, and they're a half game in front of the Cowboys because the Cowboys lost again yesterday. They're now 6-3. And it doesn't really seem like it's a catastrophe. Most teams, if you had the backup quarterback who was going to play 4 to 6 weeks, it would be, oh no, how are we going to survive? What's going to happen? Et cetera, et cetera. And instead, I don't really have any problems with it because Sanchez played well yesterday. He didn't play great, but he played well. He threw for like 200 and change, 202, I think it was.
Not bad.
2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but one of the interceptions wasn't his fault because the receiver popped the ball up in the air, and it was like a center field play for the DB. But, he basically managed the game, which is pretty similar to what he did with the Jets. It wasn't spectacular, but it was solid. And in Chip Kelly's offense, all a quarterback has to do is be solid. And I don't know. I mean, you looked at it. I looked at it from the Jets standpoint yesterday, and like I said, Vic played pretty well, but he got hurt. He got slammed to the turf, and they had to check him for the concussion. I still think he probably had a concussion, but he came back into the game. But your boy Matt Sims came out for a couple drives, and then Vic came back in the game, which probably was short-sighted at that point and a little stupid, but. That's football.
Well, I think
if he's not showing signs of concussion, they're going to send him back in.
I think they figured, well, we still might have a chance. We need 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was a 2-score game.
2-score game.
But the thing I'm looking at right now is you could actually argue that the Jets' quarterback situation this week is an even bigger mess than it was last week.
Yes,
because Geno Smith is on the sidelines. Right. He's got a bum shoulder from the hit 2 weeks ago. Vic. Who knows if he actually had a concussion yesterday? It's possible. So now you're looking at Matt Sims as really your only healthy quarterback.
Right. And he was on the list, or was it the not the DL?
Who, Gino?
No,
Gino.
Matt Smith. Matt Sims.
Matt Sims. Gino was deactivated yesterday.
Right.
I don't know what list you're talking about.
Matt Sims, like 2 weeks ago, was taken off. He wasn't the third starter. They took him off that list or whatever.
That was deactivated.
Yeah,
list.
deactivated.
Yeah, because you can only dress 2 quarterbacks.
Really?
Yeah,
that's stupid.
So, but that's it's bizarre because the Eagles are looking at a situation, like I said, that Foles could be out for as long as he could miss as many as 8 games,
right?
And that's basically the rest of the season.
Right.
It gives him a week before the playoffs, and I don't think anybody in Philadelphia is panicking because Sanchez came in, he did his job, he showed that he's more than capable, and I think Philadelphia's just going to keep rolling.
I think so too. I think, and if, you know what, if Sanchez does well this season, it sort of shuts up a few people. Not in New York, but in the league. I think
it shuts up a lot of people in New York.
But I think also people thought that he was a little bit of a showboat in the beginning, so to speak, in the fact that I'm in New York, I'm Matt Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez.
You can call him Matt.
Matt Barkley is the guy who took over for him.
So. But I think that's part of it. I think, and especially if they do good, it's not going to be a Kurt Warner situation.
No, I mean, I joked with some of the guys at work yesterday. I like the whole Lou Gehrig, Wally Pipp thing. I was like, Nick, Foles is never going to get the starting job back, and everybody laughed because it's preposterous. But all Sanchez, this is good for Sanchez and his career because obviously he doesn't want to be a career backup at this point. He's still a young guy, and if he positions himself and plays fairly well, fine. He can be a free agent. I'm sure he only signed a 1-year deal. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I can't imagine why he would sign anything longer than that. But get him out there, and somebody will say, all right, Mar, hey, we need a starter, and you're the best of a bad lot. So here's $6 million and come be our quarterback.
That'd be fun. That'd be exciting.
So who knows where he'll go? But
okay, well let's change topics very quickly because we got Len Berman coming on in a few minutes.
Yes.
We'll jump to Major League Baseball. Joe Madden signed by the Cubs to be their new manager.
Well, actually, the press conference is today at 2 o'clock.
Today.
We're actually breaking news here.
Well, we're breaking news, yeah, okay. But he's being signed by the Cubs as their new manager.
Yes.
And it's like, I feel bad for
Rick Renteria
because he didn't do a bad job last year.
No, he did. He actually, given the Cubs roster, he did a really good job. And the Cubs management was talking to him about an extension and long-term plans and kind of getting into those discussions.
Right.
And then all of a sudden Joe Madden becomes available. And there's also, when I say becomes available, there's also some whispering going on behind the scenes now that there could be an investigation for tampering because apparently the Tampa Bay Rays are pretty upset that Joe Madden all of a sudden decided to leave when they thought he was going to be staying.
Well, that's tough to prove. He did do the right thing. There was a certain time period from the time he left to the time he gets signed. If the Rays had said you can't sign with anyone for 6 months or something, something like that.
It's going to be tough to prove because Joe Madden should know that if he were to opt out of his contract with the Rays, that he'd be a very popular guy on the open market.
Right.
How he wouldn't know that, I have no idea. So I don't know that the tampering charges will have any kind of legs to them. But even if they do, the Cubs would wind up giving up some sort of middle prospect. There is some precedence here, but the players who were part of those situations, they were nobodies. So I don't know what.
Keep going.
Madden is going to be, like I said, he's going to be at a press conference at 2 o'clock. They're going to announce him, and he's a great fit for the Cubs because they have a lot of young prospects coming up. He obviously has been the Tampa Bay manager for years, had them in contention. He's a little offbeat, but he's a great guy for them going forward.
Well, I think the Cubs are still going to stink. Anyway, we got to take a break. We have Len Berman on the phone. We'll get a quick break, and then we'll have Len on right after this, right here on 90.3 FM WHPC from the Pressbox. We'll be back right after this.
Attention NCC students and faculty. Nassau Community College, in partnership with the American Cancer Society, will be hosting the Great American Smokeout on November 20th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Learn about the effects of smoking on your lungs and get information on how to quit. This message was brought to you by WHPC 90.3 FM, the radio voice of Nassau Community College, streaming online